How old are you, Elmo?
Elmo is 3.5 years old.
And how long have you been 3.5?
The mid-80s.
Since the mid-80s. That would put you around, 35? And do you think it's okay for a 35-year-old to play with a young girl?
But Elmo is only 3.5.
Right. There's something you need to know. I'm Chris Hansen.
Chris Hansen? Elmo is leaving now.
Welcome to the show. I am David Taylor, and we are back for another very interesting and very informative, fact-filled episode. Today, we're going to talk about a hero, a hero I didn't even know existed. I came across this video, and the video is approximately 2 years old. This is from California, Glendale, California specifically. And the reason why I bring it up, because on average, we're talking about news, and we don't want to talk about news that is 2 years old. In the news cycle, that's practically 20 years ago. But this is very important because the situation is still not resolved. The situation is still going on. I'm going to set the scene for you real quick, okay? This is a father. He's coming in to address the school board, the Glendale School Board, okay? The school board has 5 members. I'd love to tell you their names, but honestly, I can only pronounce one of them, Kathleen Cross, okay? This doesn't have anything to do with the school board per se, but the very fact that the school board sits around and they see it and they allow this to happen, let's be real. They're all friends and they all know what's going on. So every single member of that Glendale School Board is definitely in one way or another complicit, whether it's actively or it's in a turn your head kind of fashion, kind of like those monkeys: don't see, don't hear, don't speak. So the situation is very crazy, especially in California, because the whole transgender situation with transing kids is really gone quite nuts. The California legislature has created all sorts of rules. They've brought them to the House. So just in general, California is nuts. I'm going on kind of an tangent, okay? But this man, the superhero, came to speak with this school board. And what he has to say is, well, he's a hero. Let's get into it. Oh, and before we get into it, please like, share, subscribe for more content. Appreciate it. Let's get into it.
Hello, board. Thank you for letting me speak here today. I'm here to talk as a parent. I've got 2 young boys. We live in Glendale, and when they come of age, I am deeply concerned about their educational prospects in this city. I'm also a taxpayer. I pay a lot of taxes in this city, many of which go to this district, and I'm deeply concerned about how that money is being spent, particularly, and I'm going to single out a person at in the school district named Dr. Kelly King, who's sitting right here to my left. Dr. Kelly King makes over $250,000 a year. Every 4 years, we give her $1 million. We will be paying for her pension for, the duration.
Did he just say $250,000 a year? That's interesting. I was always told that teachers and, everybody in the teaching profession got paid crap, got paid nada, got paid horribly. Yet, here we are, an assistant superintendent getting paid $250,000 a year. I bet you it's not the only one. Let's continue.
of her life after she retires, and she's doing things that I completely disagree with, and I think many members of the community would also disagree with. Previous speakers have mentioned the number of Armenians who live in Glendale. How many Armenians would support what she does? Let me discuss what she's doing. In a recent video in 2017, she reflected Glendale Unified policy when she stated, and I'm going to quote, "We have a lot of resistance from male coaches who are horrified at the thought of having a biological girl changing clothes in front of them." Which biological girls are changing clothes in front of coaches in Glendale Unified? That's a question I'm genuinely asking. She continued.
That's a great question.
It's not a girl. It's not a girl. It's not a girl. You only have boys in the boys' locker room. She just said it was a biological girl.
May I just stop
I'm
for a
speaking
moment?
now. You're not. No, I'm speaking. This is interrupting my time.
Well, we
Can I
can
pause
pause
this,
the
please?
time. Can you pause the time for a minute? I only want to say that to refrain from personal attacks. So please.
She is a government official. She's a government employee. This is not a personal attack. I pay her salary with my tax dollars.
Again, please talk towards the policies that you
I'm
are
talking about-
against
and
and
if-
refrain from personal attacks, and your time will continue. Please go ahead.
In what way have I personally attacked Dr. King? She is acting within her official role as assistant superintendent at Glendale Unified. How is that a personal attack? I'm talking about tax dollars being used in a way that I disagree with. I'm going to continue.
Continue talking about the policy that you disagree with.
Dr. King quoted to say that biological girls were changing in front of male coaches. And then, so she knows it's a biological girl, and then proceeded to say it's not a girl 3 times. You know it's a girl. You know it's a girl. Or
Okay,
you know
so
it's a
she's
boy.
an
You know
employee
it's a
of
boy.
ours, and if you wouldn't mind telling us what policy you dislike.
There is why am I being interrupted for speaking about an official member, a superintendent at Glendale Unified, speaking in an official manner? You cannot interrupt me for that. You have no ability to do that. And furthermore, the rules stated you won't debate. You're debating me right now. Correct? I'm going to continue. In discussing permanent records, she states that she keeps permanent records for a handful of trans students literally next to her in her room. She does not indicate that person's gender identity for fear that the parent might find out. Why is she concealing this from parents? She says, we kind of go out on a limb, and we know that's controversial to some people. Which people? Which parents? Armenian parents? Christian parents? Are those the ones who are being excluded from knowledge on their own children and their own identity in Glendale's Unified School District? And you preach inclusive policies. We can talk about that policy. Yet she's excluding parents.
So
She's
again,
excluding parents. I'm going to continue.
And I might just ask for a pause and ask for information. Maybe I'm mistaken. Can you pause the time for a moment, Mr. Sahakyan? Thanks. So I wouldn't mind getting input in terms of, is this?
So my understanding, again, is that we are the arbiters of policy. That is our decision. And so our employees are operating based off of our direction and the direction up here at the dais. So it is appropriate to criticize the policy. It is appropriate to question that. It is not appropriate to personally attack and denigrate a specific employee.
I don't know who this Jennifer Freeman is. It says vice president. That must be the vice president, of course. So obviously, it says it on her placard, but I really couldn't find her on the school board. So maybe she's retired or something.
Not believe that is covered under the public comment.
I'm not personally attacking anybody.
Yes, you are, sir.
No, ma'am, I am not. I am not personally attacking her. I disagree with what she said in her role as assistant
So then you
superintendent.
disagree with the policy, so please continue with the disagreement of the policy.
I am disagreeing with her, and this is not, you are debating me right now. You said you would not debate me. Why are you debating me?
So you're using that particular thing inappropriately, the fact that we're not that we don't debate. So
I am not
please,
attacking her personally. This is under her official role as Assistant Superintendent at Glendale Unified. You are not allowing me to speak freely in a government entity about a government employee. I pay her taxes. I have every right to speak about her in particular within her role. I'm not talking about where she lives, what she looks like, anything like that. Nothing personal. This is purely professional, and this is purely governmental. Can I continue?
try to keep it professional.
All right, I'm going to pause it right here. This is what they're doing. All right, it's very, very quite easy to see. This is an intimidation tactic, okay? This is intimidation. You get this, like, I hate to be that guy, but you get this a lot from women. You get this a lot from women. All of this is gaslighting. This is what gaslighting is. They're trying to make it seem like he is somehow attacking an individual. They are trying to create a narrative that what he's saying is personally attacking Kelly King, when in fact he's never said a single thing. And notice they keep interrupting him because they want to break up his flow. They don't want him to get what he wants to get out. They don't want the full unedited and unabridged context of what he's saying. They don't want it on YouTube, just like we're watching right here. They want it, they want him to back down. They want him to shut up. And everything he's saying, I mean, that's insane. Little girls getting dressed in front of male coaches. I'm glad to hear they're uncomfortable. I mean, oh my God. Oh my God. So what they're doing right now is just trying to intimidate the heck out of him. And now I want you to know, remember, Dr. Kelly King is still there. Dr. Kelly King, the person he is speaking about, is still an assistant superintendent making $250,000 a year. Let's continue.
I already told you what I'm doing, and I'm making that very clear, and I'm not going to change.
Keep it professional.
I have not. I have only kept this professional. You are debating me, and you are violating your own rules.
So,
You are
Mr.
violating your own
Sahakian,
rules.
go ahead and open the time again.
Thank you so much. Dr. Kelly King has worked with Gender Spectrum, an organization which you guys have actually paid money to in several schools. If that's not a conflict of interest, I don't know what is. She's worked with Gender Spectrum to produce gender support plans. In these gender support plans, she ranks parents whether on how affirming they are on a scale of 0 to 10. Who determines that? Based on what criteria? I'd love to know that policy. She says, if the parent's not affirming, the parent may not be involved in this document. That's the gender support plan. This may be a private conversation. So let's talk personal now, because she is. This may be a private conversation between that trusted adult at the school. Is that adult trusted by the parent? Who is the trusted adult? Define trust, please. This may be a private conversation between that trusted adult at the school and the student about how we keep you safe at home, emotionally and physically. Who's personal? Who's professional? Personally, I'm being professional. What she has done and the policies none of you have spoken out against is a complete deviation from that sacred boundary between government and personal lives and privacy, especially of minors. And we're talking about sexuality, sexual identity, and you're not going to divulge that to parents intentionally. And again, she makes over $250,000 a year. While 43%, only 43% of Glendale Unified High Schoolers are proficient in math upon graduation. Only 65% are proficient in reading, and you pay that much money to institute those policies while you're literally failing to produce the adequate students for the 21st century. Thank you so much.
And next on the agenda,
Like I said, not all heroes wear capes. And There is no such thing as a private conversation between an adult and a child without their parents. There just isn't. If you're having a private conversation with a child that doesn't include their parents, well, guess what? You're a sicko. There is something wrong with you. Thank you very much. One last thing. Sorry, actually, I'm going to end this whole thing giving you the information of of Dr. King. Excuse me. I apologize for that. Of both Dr. King and Dr. Darnika Watson, who is the superintendent, because you can't be an assistant superintendent to a superintendent unless the superintendent wants you. I'm just saying. I couldn't find a direct phone number for Dr. Darnika Watson, but her phone number is that I found was 818-241-3111, extension 1218, and that's for media. You probably won't talk to anybody, right? But Kelly King, she does have a direct contact phone number. Her direct contact phone number is 818-241-3111, extension 1208. And it will be at the end of this video. Have a great day.